Okay.
Yeah, cut me off and you can talk to me through this.
Okay, I'm gonna turn. Okay. Hi, Renita. I'm just waiting for some other people to get here. We're going to be talking about Married to Medicine. Can you guys hear me? Let's see. Can you guys hear me? I know Rose is here. Yeah, hi. Can you hear me, Rose? Oh, you can? Good. I'm trying to wait until some other people get in here. There must be a delay. Thank you, Ronita. Is it Ronita? So hi, everyone. We're going to be talking some Married to Medicine. This was their finale, so I wanted to cover them here. This is my first time doing StreamYard. Rose, I want to try to bring you in just to see if the invite works, okay? Let's see. I'm going to put it in the chat. Let's see. I'm going to check. Let's see. Oops. Wait a minute. Well, I don't want to do that. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat because there were 3 other ways for me to do it. Okay. Do you see it? Glasses. So, trying to wait for some other people to get in. This is my first time doing the StreamYard, so I'm not exactly sure how it works because I know that whatever I put on StreamYard, I also had to enter into YouTube. So it's also, but it's connected to YouTube. Wait a minute, I think I see you, Rose. Okay, so here I go. So Rose, you here?
You did it.
I did it, didn't I? Oh my gosh, I did it. So, your sound is off. Your sound is off.
Okay, so I just cut off my YouTube so that I won't sound. Okay.
Okay, that's what it was. Your YouTube
is that better?
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I was wanting to get as many people as I had last night on here. So it's not. So yeah, I was wanting to get other, as many people on here. Okay, so Renita is leaving. She says she'll be right back.
She said it's more like Ronita. She said it's more like Ronita.
Ronita. Yeah, I see that now, Ronita. Yeah. So I think I'm going. You know what? I have some cards. I think I'm going to give out. I want to kind of show them. I have to put them up. I have some cards I'm going to give out in public. I was hoping to have the same amount of people here.
I know. Give them a little. Well, Sherelle just came on. Somebody's going to talking about teacup. Yeah, so
Why did she do that? She did that because she probably saw I was
yeah,
coming.
she's coming on at like exactly 7:10. Yeah. That's
Okay,
how
so
I kind of
she normally doesn't do that, so I don't know why she did that. She normally does not do that. She normally comes on earlier.
yeah. So you're up against a couple of big
Yeah,
dogs.
but I know I should have. She normally does not do that, and I can tell by some of their conversations that they've been sneaking in over here a little bit. You know, so
Yeah.
we can at least talk about it, and it's a
Yeah, it's a replay, so you always have the replay to.
yeah, it's a testing ground for me.
Yeah.
I like it though.
You like it?
Yeah, I like the fact that I
I love
can.
StreamYard. I really like StreamYard. I too watch the how to bring somebody on. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like the way it's done.
I don't like when people know that I'm coming on at 7 and then they come on at 7.
Yeah, so a lot of people's gonna have to. I was like, oh my god, she has.
But normally she doesn't come on at 7.
Mm-hmm.
She,
Yeah, I
she does
normally don't
it
see her this
earlier,
late.
she does it earlier in the day, and the reason I know that is because I listen to her on my lunchtime.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I listen to them on Mondays on my lunchtime. So the fact that she's coming on at 7 lets me know that she's been over here.
So there's some other ones on too right now. T.S. Madison is premiering something. Hers is from Instagram though. And then you have Sherelle and you have two other people. So and it probably God knows who else, that we don't know. I
So
did mine at 6. Mine was only about 20 minutes. So
did you have a lot of people?
I have mine's are always replays. So I didn't have any. I had a few people pop in. They didn't make any comments or anything, but I just go ahead on and do my show, talk, and whoever listens to my replays, then that's fine.
I'm thinking of moving my scene to my living room.
Okay, yeah.
I'm thinking of doing that, but I want to use this green screen. And
I love your green screen. I have the different kind, but you got a nice.
I want to use put some false scenery behind me as well.
Right, that's what I'm waiting for. My stuff from Amazon to make my background look so I can finally see a real person. Yeah.
I am so married to medicine last night.
Yes, let's get to it. Yeah.
It started out with, they always go through a run of the scenes from scene to scene in each household, showing somebody's either getting ready for school or someone's getting ready for the hospital. They did all of that. But then whenever they finally opened up, it opened up with Anila, Dr. Heavenly, and Quad at the bar. And Anila starts talking about how she's going to get back at Lisa Nicole for not paying her that $400. So whenever she first started to order the drinks, I did not know that she put that on Lisa Nicole's tab.
Yes, she did.
What do you think about that?
I was like, I didn't like the idea that she did that. And I also thought, and I didn't know it was going to be such a big mess in the end, but are we jumping too far ahead? But
well, that was the first part.
Yeah, that was the first scene, so I'm not going to discuss. But
you can go ahead because we'll get to that as well.
Okay, but I didn't like that Anila. I was shocked she even did something. Like Cecil said, that was a move that he's never seen on MTM, and I never seen anybody do anything like that on Married to Medicine.
He did say that in his confession.
Yeah,
he said it with glory.
Yeah,
he liked that she did that.
She did that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She said she didn't feel like she was ever going to get her money from Lisa.
From Lisa Nicole.
Mm-hmm. I think it was what, $450 or something. $450.
Yes. Well, as you know, in last week's scene, we saw where Anila, where Lisa Nicole did agree with Anila that she would pay
her. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So why would Lisa Nicole backtrack at the dinner last week and say, "Send me an invoice"?
Yeah, I just think that to me, she's messy in business. She may be a good friend. You know, I'm not going to say that, discount her and say she's not a good friend to others, but
Yes.
um, but she's messy in business. I don't like how she does her business. It's really messy because we saw her, Anila, go to her and tell her, she told her what her prices were off top on camera.
Uh-huh.
And she told her that she would wear some of her outfits on her blog. And
She
she
made
did
it
her,
all verbal.
yeah, it was verbal, and it's friends, and that's how it is with business with friends. It's not such. I believe that you have to be business with business. Let business be business when you're, even if it's a friendship,
Uh-huh.
and put friendship aside because you see what happens. You know, she didn't even pay her, and she claimed she didn't even know that she wore her outfit in the blog, and she said, "I sent it to you. You asked me about it. We discussed it." And you saw how she tried to play dumb, like she didn't even know that Anila had did her blog with her outfits on. I thought that was really,
Yes, exactly. So here's what I think about friendship in business.
okay,
I do think, to be on the safe side, even if it's a close friend, it should be in writing, because that holds both of you accountable. It holds both of us accountable. Also, Anila and Lisa are just getting to know each other, so they are not close enough as friends not to have it in writing, right?
okay,
And also, Lisa Nicole is very good friends with Toya. Toya is part of the reason that Lisa Nicole is back on the show this season. So for Anila to know, at the time she made that agreement with Lisa, she knew that she and Toya were not getting along, and that Lisa and Toya had known each other much longer and they were still friends. So
mm-hmm.
I think that that was Anila's mistake, that she underestimated Lisa Nicole, and she didn't really weigh out the entire matter.
Right. I also like how Anila showed, like, you're not, you think I'm a pushover, but I'm not.
Yes, she's not a pushover.
She's not
She
a
is
pushover.
no.
She's not. I like her. I like her actually for the show. I listened to Dr. Simone today on Instagram. She was on one of those shows talking about the finale, and so
Uh-huh.
and the young lady asked her how did she like the Amelia being on the show, and she said she thought she was a great asset to the show. She was glad that she was there, and she brought like a freshness to the show.
Yeah,
So I am really proud of Bravo for the diversity in that way on that particular show. It worked out well.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so too. I
yeah.
think Anila has the perfect personality for the show.
I think
And
she does too. She's my. I can't have my Maya, but I can at least have Anila.
and also, um, she brings the beauty and the essence of what we expect of a housewife. I
Hmm.
like the messiness with the money situation that Toya brought up. At the same time, that was an error. You know, they all are they all have their flaws, and that was one of hers. So I'm not gonna count her out just for that.
Right, and Toya, I don't know if she was speaking from experience or if she called herself throwing shade to
Uh-huh.
Anil about her finances because
Wait, we're gonna get to that. Was
okay,
this from last week?
yes, or excuse me, what you say?
Was this from last week that you were about to say?
Well, you know, it's in previous episodes where they were riding together, and Toya said to Anila about her finances that she didn't pay the makeup artist when they was in Washington D.C. and something
Yes.
like that. And I was just saying that I don't know if the shade that Toya threw to her in the car ride about her finances was
Uh-huh.
shade, or was she saying it from experience about overspending? But I think it was her judging Anila's fine, you know, the way she spends.
Yes. Well, and, and as they say, I don't want to say pot calling the kettle black. I really don't like that adage. At the same time,
You have a
well,
comment.
I
Yeah,
have a comment.
it's
Okay, yeah.
I can't pronounce her name. 99 something Bo.
Looks like Sabo. is that Sabo 99? She said, I don't watch the show or know who you guys are talking about, but I just came to support, just found your channel and I love it.
Oh, great.
Thank you. So we are talking about Married to Medicine. It's a Bravo show that airs on Sunday night, and last night they had their finale. So we're just now beginning to talk about some of those scenes that took place, and we're talking about Anila. So, am I saying your name correctly? Is it Sabu? Sabo? I know the
Why
the
is silent?
part
Mhm.
BEAU is like bow. Maybe the Y is silent, Sabo. But so okay, so we have that part of it. We have the issue with the $600, and she has billed Lisa Nicole for that. So
Mhm.
if we and they're having a ball, it was a total of $365 for that wine, and each
Yes,
one of
it
them got
was.
a
And
bottle.
the tip brought it up to like 500 and something.
Yes, I didn't know it was that. She must have left a big tip.
Yes, because when Quad was the last one to leave.
Yes.
So and and she said to the bartender, I think you're supposed to add the tip to the bill as well. And when the bartender did, Bravo showed the amount and it came up to like almost $600 because I guess they did that. What is it? Gratuity, that 15% or whatever it is, the
Yes.
cost of the yeah.
The gratuity, the 15% would have only been like
I'm
36
just giving an
some
example.
dollars.
Yeah, yeah. So whatever it was, she said
Yeah.
it's Bo.
Yeah.
Is
So I wanna
Isabeau. She
move
said it's
forward.
Isabeau 99. That's how you pronounce it.
Oh,
Isabeau.
okay.
Hmm. That's
Okay.
beautiful. That's a beautiful name.
That is a pretty, and it's a beautiful spelling too. Like sometimes I look at the way the letters, the way that they are, the aesthetic of the letters, and I'm like, okay, sometimes I like that. So it's spelled beautifully too as well. So,
Hmm.
so it wasn't really a whole lot going on last night until Scott comes up, but we'll get to that part. I want to go to Dr. Jackie's podcasting because they didn't show a lot of the podcast. I didn't know she had a podcast, first of all, but they showed Curtis as one of her guests. That's her husband.
Hmm.
And one of the things that they said in their podcast is that they have an open marriage, but it's not an open marriage in the way that a lot of people in Atlanta do open marriage. They don't allow other people in. They were talking about the communication part of it. They're very
Right.
open in their communication, right?
Hmm.
So, and it made me think about some of Jackie's history on the show, and my heart goes out to her. I don't really like Curtis. I don't
Okay.
like him for her at all. He has, I think she fell in love with him, so there's not a whole lot she could have done about it. But she made a point several times in their marriage, even on the show, letting him know she wanted a baby. And
Right.
when
And right.
yeah, when people see her behavior, where sometimes she looks disconnected, I,
Hmm.
I really think that's the disconnect.
Wow. I'm glad you're talking about this. I feel the sort of the same as you do. I
Mhm.
like Curtis though. But I think you're right. If I can remember, she wanted a child. He didn't. This is his second marriage, her first,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
he has adult children. Am I correct?
Yes, he does. He has children.
Hmm.
And
Yes, he already has adult children. I thought that was so unfair.
I
And I think that's why she engrossed herself in her in her profession and her career.
yeah.
And I believe you're right about her being that attitude she used to have, which she doesn't have it now, but she
Mhm.
used to be very angry, kind of disappointed, cold. And the last two seasons, she's more open, she's more happy. And I don't know what she's found to fulfill herself. Maybe it's because she's beyond childbearing years now, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
But
I've never seen her as angry on the show. I've always thought
mhm,
she was actually the most cool, calm, and collective one. When I say disconnect, I'm talking about a silent disconnect. Her demeanor, the way she looks, she
mhm.
kind of there's a disconnect. Even this season, there's a disconnect, and I really think that she is really going to carry the burden of having wanted children and not having them. And then she also had breast cancer, you know.
Yes,
And I
she
think,
did.
and I just think Curtis is selfish because we all know she's the one who carries that household.
Yes, she does.
She's been carrying the household, so it has to be love. She has to love him
That's
because
why I can see it in her face that she loves. She's really trying to make her marriage work. You can tell she looks different. She dressed different. She's I could tell that she's really trying to make her marriage work, and I think he is too, though. But you know what? I don't think it's too late for her to want maybe to adopt. It doesn't have to be a baby. It maybe could be an
he
older
doesn't
child.
want it. It's not too late for her. She was going to have a baby even a couple of years ago, and she even
Really?
talked to him about adoption. She doesn't have babies. He made the decision, and she went with it. So what would you have done in that situation? I know me, as badly as I wanted kids, if I had had a husband who was telling me no to children, there's no way. We would have just divorced.
I don't know if I should even go personal. Okay, so um, I am divorced. I have two boys, but because I'm kind of still could bear a child in my current relationship, I want another child, and my partner does not. He feels that we are becoming of the age where we'll be
In your rockers.
in our rockers by the time the child is like graduating.
Yeah.
I don't think that matters, and I I I wrestle with that too because I try I want another child. I whether it's boy I wanted a girl, but it really doesn't matter now. But
Yeah.
so I can understand how she feels. I still try anyway. If I were her, would have been her, I would have did it anyway. And he would. But you know what? Let me stop to say this. I think Curtis didn't want children because I think the whole time he didn't love her as much as she did, and he had planned on leaving her. And I believe that's why he had the affair.
Do you?
And
So
I
you
think,
think Curtis was
and I
going
think,
to?
I think the show stopped him from leaving her because I didn't think he loved her as much as she loved him.
So you thought he was going to leave her?
Yes,
So
I
maybe
believe.
that's why he was cheating.
That's what I believe. When I believe the reason why he didn't want children with her previously, or early on when the show first started, is because he had planned on leaving her. I don't think he was ever happy with her after a certain point. He said she was
Really?
always working, she was always busy, and I think he was going to cut his losses and take his 20, leave his 80 and go to his 20% and be happy, with some other younger girl or whatever. And I don't think he had plans on staying with Jackie, but I think he thought about it, or he was pressured, or because of the show. I don't really
Yeah.
think it was. Yeah,
That's interesting. So, um, I hurt for Jackie. Jackie is my favorite on the show. I really like her, and but I hurt for her. So I just wanted to kind of cover that piece a little bit.
right. To
So
add another thing about Jackie, let's not forget Jackie and Simone got their attention out by fake fighting in the grass. Did you see that segment?
yes,
Yes.
yes. Is that what they were doing?
Yes, they were fake fighting because they were
So
talking
what
to.
what is the tension that would cause them to even want to fake?
They weren't speaking in the first couple of episodes. They were distant. And Heavenly had to try to mend their relationship because
Yes.
Simone was jealous that Jackie had. I don't think it was all about Heavenly, but I think it's something else going on between Simone and Jackie that I don't
That
really
we
think
don't
they
see.
revealed. Yeah. But
I do.
Simone used Heavenly as her excuse for not wanting to, have a relationship with Jackie because she chose to be friends with Simone, but I mean, with with Heavenly. I don't think that was the real reason. But anyway, when they were walking at in Jekyll's Owl last night, she said, "And we never really got to fight like we wanted to." So Jackie, they took off their purses and they rolled in the grass and they called themselves play fighting, to get out
You know,
the.
I don't like that. I think that is that is like the most immature thing. Two grown women fighting and rolling in the grass. I don't understand that kind of tension. And Simone is loud and boisterous, and so is um, Dr. Heavenly, very loud and boisterous.
Right.
So I could never go see them as a doctor. I mean, they may have different personalities as doctors, but just knowing that side of them, I don't like that hardness in women. I'm probably like 110% female
So
because I don't like
you're highly feminine.
yeah, yes, I'm very. I don't like that. I like when I get upset. I'm not wanting to go beat somebody up like that. So
Right.
the fact that they were rolling in the grass means that they probably have that in their history somewhere. Whereas if they got mad at a female, they might slap her or something. You know, when they were in their younger years, like teenager. You know.
Well, you know, like you said, Simone is a yeller. She yells and
she's country. She's loud and country at the same time.
Right. So I guess that
not a good thing.
I think they were really upset with each other. Simone was. I think Simone was more disappointed about their friendship even than Jackie was, because Jackie didn't seem bothered to me about their friendship not being,
No, I think she was bothered, and Jackie is an introvert to some degree. I'm doing this right now, and I do a lot of things that most people are shy about doing. But it's because I take a chance. However, I'm very much an introvert. I'm very introverted. I love my alone time so much, and I don't, So I think Dr. Jackie is an introvert who is bold. Her character is kind of like me. I'm an introvert, but I'm also quite direct. But my directness is not to be mean. It's to just be able to communicate my thoughts so that I don't go harbor them someplace else.
Right.
So.
Exactly. I think that Jackie has sort of reinvented herself. Her career is going great. She has other things she's doing other than her practice. I think that's what's making her so happy. And that may be why Curtis is kind of content with her now. Because, we as women, when we get married, we morph ourselves to our husband.
Because of the money.
You think so?
Yes, he's content because of the money. That's why he's content. He's content because of the house. She's the one who did her house is beautiful.
She did do the house. Yeah.
Inside and outside, her house is absolutely beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. I like that house is gorgeous. And so he's content because he knows he's not going to get that anyplace else. What other woman has that and is going to where he's going to be able to go home to that?
Yeah. I guess he saw that. Maybe he's thinking like he's cutting his losses, and he's like, okay, I'm 60, in retirement age. My wife is talented. She's smart. She's wealthy. Why
he doesn't want to end up on the street. Basically, if he goes and gets with another woman, he's going to end up on the street, and that's what he's thinking. He's at a point in his life where he's realizing his future and what that's going to look like. So he's not going anywhere. But here's the issue: they do not have a prenup. So even if he was to go somewhere, it could not be his fault, because if he was to cheat, he probably wouldn't get anything out of her. He would have to do something to make her want to leave him.
Right. Do you think that's why Cecil stayed, or you think Cecil stayed more for the boys?
I think that I think Cecil actually was torn. He was torn between the fact that he loves his wife. I think Cecil does love Simone.
Okay.
But and we'll talk about that shortly. But I want to move forward and talk about how dignified and formal it is for them to try to bring Contessa and Scott together.
I love that.
That was so formal and dignified.
Yes, it was.
That's how you do things, and I like that that
I
from
do
all of them
too.
saying to their husbands, listen, we need you to talk to Scott. We need you to
Yes.
talk to Scott. So Cecil goes and he's going to talk to Scott. Also, Curtis is going to talk to Scott. But you notice they did not show Damon. Damon has not been in many scenes. He's been in like one or two very small scenes this season.
Right. I noticed that. I'm gonna get to that. Let's get to that too when we get to Heavenly. I love that. I love Black love. You know, to me, our love is different. Maybe it's because it's our culture and we are Black women, and that's all we know is Black love. But of course,
Right.
we've seen other cultures the way they love. I don't believe. I believe they love, you know, but I believe our
It's
love is
not that
different.
soulful. It's not
Yeah.
that soulful gut loving.
Yes.
That's why those other women in those other cultures like our men.
Right.
Because our
And
men bring that suave
right.
and don't let them be intelligent and be
Yes. And that's right.
and have the D going on.
Exactly. So when Cecil, when Cecil and Curtis were able to get Scott to come
Uh-huh.
and 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 try to help let him see how Contessa was hurting. I thought that was very admirable of them. I thought that was how men are supposed to be. I thought that was how friends are supposed to do with one another. They set aside a lot of their personal issues with one another to try to make sure that this Black love stayed together. Like, we're not going to allow the statistics to take your marriage, you know. But you know what I didn't understand? Why didn't they try to save Quad and her husband?
They
Like they
did. They did try to save
Well,
Quad.
maybe they didn't show it. Maybe they edited a
They
lot
showed it.
of
They
that
showed
out.
it. They showed it. Quad didn't want it. Quad didn't want it. And another couple even came in to try to save another
Oh, yes,
couple
that's right. That's right.
with
Right,
and,
you're right. Yes.
and Quad acted a nut. Quad is a nut gold digger, and her personality on that show has steered men in Hollywood away from her. Men in Hollywood, because she's out there doing her thing with people on the low. She's not being
She's single. That's what you're saying. She's out
she's
there being single.
well, no, I'm not gonna put that on single women. I'm saying she's out there being she's doing her thing, okay?
Okay.
But when men see you behave like that on television against your husband, when you show your personality, like she looked at that man and she said, "Get your hands off of me."
Okay.
She said that to Greg. So men look at that. They look at her and they're like, "Whoa, man, I can't have a woman talking to me
Like
like that.
that.
I want a loving woman." So
Mm-hmm.
I think her personality steered a lot of them away. I think they will use her, but they will not marry her.
Oh, wow.
If she ever gets married again, I will be surprised.
Okay.
I will be surprised. I think that they'll get with her, they'll get down and dirty and do the nasty, but I don't foresee them really wanting. It would have to be someone who never seen the show and seen her character towards Greg.
Okay. Or she will be head over heels in love with this guy and she will love him. You know, she will be the predator.
But he will
You know
not
what I
love
mean?
her. It's not about her being head over heels. It's about him, a man. She is undesirable to men. That's not a character that men want in their household, for real, acting like that. So I think that if she does find someone who comes to love her and she love him, it would be on his end. He would be someone who did not see her character with
Okay,
Greg.
on the show.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because if he sees that, or if he sees that, it would have to be long after he's fallen in love with her. He would have to fall in love with her first, and then look at that and have it not even matter to him.
I can agree with that. Or somebody, or as egotistical as she, and didn't care about her behavior.
I don't think they would get along if they were egotistical as her. I don't like Quad. I
I
love her
love
style and the way
her.
she
I
dressed.
like
I know you said last night you really like her.
I like her.
I like her this season. Let me say that. I do actually like her on the show this season, but I don't like that part of her, the way she treated Greg.
Okay.
I didn't like that. I don't like that part.
I thought maybe like you said, I guess I didn't think about it that she didn't want the marriage anymore. But I thought they didn't, because don't you remember she said that they didn't reach out to her as much as
Didn't
they
love
did
that.
Simone and Cecil
She
or
didn't love
Jackie and Curtis.
that.
I didn't see a lot of that
They did
camaraderie
try
like
to
they
reach
did with
out.
the other
They had
couple.
a meeting with Greg. The men had a meeting with Greg, and the women tried to talk to Quad. But when they would try to talk to Quad, Quad would become volatile and loud.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was no talking to Quad.
So you said she had her own agenda. She got
Yeah,
what she needed from Greg. She was on the show, and
she
that
was
okay.
gone. Yeah, she
Okay.
wanted to be on the show.
Okay.
She really did want to be on the show, and she got on the show, and
You think
it
she's
is what it is.
regretful about
No, I
anything?
don't think she's regretful. I think she's glad it's over. I think that she probably felt bad because she knew she was not genuine about that marriage. I think she may have felt bad about it, but I don't. I think that, and this is just looking at her character on the show. I just don't think she did Greg right, and I feel really bad because Greg did love her. Greg wanted her to have his baby. So when a man wants you to have his baby, that's a big deal. He
That is
wanted
a
her.
very big deal.
She
Yeah.
never wanted his baby. And I can sit here and say that when a woman really loves a man and he wants to have your baby, you're going to have that baby.
Right.
You're going to have, because you love him. You're like, yes, baby, let's do this thing.
Any way we can.
Her agenda is different. You like, baby, yeah, let's have a few. Let's get in
Yeah.
here and get down and dirty, and I'll
She's
pop right
really
out.
into herself. I'm not, I'm not gonna say she's selfish. Uh but she is really into herself. And maybe because like we talked about last night, she didn't have much growing
Yeah.
up, and she struggled through college, and now she's at the point where she really wants to be.
I
She
don't
has
think that has anything to do with it.
okay.
Struggling through college has nothing to do with how you become a woman.
No, I'm just saying maybe she maybe material things is what she thinks is making it
I'm
or
materialistic.
arriving. You know what I mean?
I'm materialistic,
Mm-hmm.
but I know when I love a man. Being materialistic isn't going to take away from me wanting a
I
man in my
don't know.
yeah. Um no.
You don't think that's it?
No. And I believe what Heavenly said a couple of seasons ago about her and Common. Remember, Heavenly let it slip about her getting with Common.
Yeah.
She
Well, he
said,
chose what's her name? She ready. Tiffany Haddish. She's with Tiffany now. So there are two different types of women. The difference between Tiffany Haddish and Quad is
well, the reason I brought this up is because I wanted to get to the part where the women were talking to the men about going and talking to Scott and Contessa.
okay. Okay.
And I loved how they were doing that. And I agree with Cecil though. Cecil was like, you can, lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink,
Mm-hmm.
but he was willing to go and give it his best shot.
Right.
And so Heavenly tells Cecil that that Contessa is concerned because Scott has a life coach that he's been seeing for 6 months and he hasn't been paying her.
Right.
So Cecil, in his confessional, his mind goes back to that night a couple of episodes ago in the beginning of this season when they were at his house and he was making them drinks.
Yeah, in the boom boom room.
And Scott told Cecil he wasn't going to go. He said, no, I ain't going to go see no therapist. So Cecil was like, whoa. So now he actually has been seeing a therapist for 6 months, even though he said, I'm not going to go see a therapist.
Yeah.
So about that part.
I think that at that moment, at that time, he had already met. It could have been that of that person he showed the picture of when he said, "I know she would never hire her. I was the one that interviewed her. I have a picture of her. She's bad." He may have been showing the picture of this so-called, my hands are doing air quotations, this so-called life coach. He may have been showing them the picture of the young lady that or the woman that he's having this so-called alleged affair with
Mhm.
at the time they were down in the boom boom room. He may have been bragging about it then, when he showed them the picture of this young lady that he had wanted to hire, but he said that he knew Contessa would. So I think he was bragging to the guys about the woman that he was seeing.
Mhm.
And I think that he thought they would be kind of cool to say, well, I got me somebody else. But I want to get to the reason why I think the breakdown in their marriage happened.
Well, I want to
Um,
wait. I want to wait on that. I want to wait on
okay.
that. Yeah. Um. So you think that? Are you saying that you think that Scott is having an affair with the girl that he showed that was in his phone?
Right. Remember he said it was I forgot what her position would have been if he had would have hired her. But
Uh-huh.
he was like, and I got a picture of her, guys. Why would you have a picture of a possible employee at your practice in your phone?
And he needs to be cautious about that because he is a doctor and he is good looking. I think Scott is a good looking doctor.
And the word on the street is that he's very, very good in bed. And that's the reason why
Good. Well,
Contessa.
I don't want to get to that. I want to say
Okay, okay.
about the young lady. He needs to be very careful about that because they were looking to hire her as an employee.
Exactly.
So there are EEOC guidelines for stuff like that. So he needs to be very cautious. Just being on this TV show, men and especially Black men need to be careful when they're hiring these employees and putting them in their phones and making passes at them.
They're very sloppy.
Grounds for sexual harassment. If she were to ever file sexual harassment charges against him, they could go back to that scene and she could say, he even put me in his phone.
Mm-hmm.
He was interviewing me. There I am sitting there being, innocent and genuinely looking for work, and he's sexually harassing me.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm talking about. He needs to be cautious about that.
Yes. So that was a
Hey,
bragging moment.
Renita. One moment, Rose.
Okay.
Hi, Renita. Oh, you're eating your taco. Are you listening to us and eating a taco? Isabel. Isabel is sitting and eating her taco, and she's shocked. Hi, Renita. So Renita, what do you think about what we're talking about so far? Do you watch Married to Medicine? Am I loud? I feel like I'm loud in my house. To
You
echo.
sound fine.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Yeah, it is a lot. Oh, you have to watch it. Do you watch the show, Isabel? You have to watch it. Nick, this was their finale. So I want to just proceed and say that about Scott. That men need to be real careful about that. They think just because they're on a hit reality show that they have no other responsibilities, in life, and they have even more responsibilities in life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I wanted to point that out. So what happens is they do talk to Scott, right? They talk, but their talk goes a little bit different. They learn whenever they get to the dinner. So I want to fast forward and move forward to the dinner.
Okay.
Because at the dinner you have Quad, you have Simone and Cecil, you have Dr. Heavenly, you have Toya, Anila, Carrie, Lisa Nicole, and Curtis is there as well, along with Scott and Contessa.
That's correct.
They're all at the dinner. Scott doesn't get to even take a sip or a shot of whiskey before Quad goes in.
I wasn't Heavenly. I think Heavenly said something first, didn't she?
Yeah, Heavenly did, but Quad made the bold move, and I can't remember what she said. I should have wrote her words down because they were sharp
They
words.
worked hard.
Say,
Yeah.
and I'll paraphrase them kind of. She's like, listen, you're making phone call. You're seeing a life coach on the side, and your wife doesn't even know about it. Yep, talk to us about that. She was saying to him,
Mm-hmm.
and he got rather defensive. Do you think he was being a little defensive?
I think that he should have known with the ladies spending that amount of time together without the husbands that women talk. First of all, he should have been aware of that. I think he was kind of knew he was going to be ambushed, or he kind of knew he was going to be questioned. He should have, but
Mhm.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Um, his reaction was of what I think a typical man would have done. And she did the right thing by getting up and saying she was sorry to the ladies, and to Cecil and Curtis for dragging them in it. And she was right for what she did on camera. Like, I'm
But
sorry.
she didn't get up. Scott got up and was leaving, and then she got up to go behind him.
No, Scott got up and he was like, Stop this. We've been through worse than this before. We are fine." And she knows his tone.
He said, "We're good." He said, "We've been."
Yeah,
He
she
said,
said, yes.
"Nothing." He
Contessa
said,
knows
"This is nothing compared
when
to what we've
Scott
been through."
is being, when he's upset, and Contessa knew to get up with Scott. She knew to get up and make sure she left with her husband. She didn't sit there like maybe Simone would have did, or Jackie would have done, or Heavenly would have. She knew to get up and go with Scott.
I think Heavenly would have gotten up with Dr. Damon. Heavenly is, she would have gotten up with Dr. Damon.
Okay.
Yeah, she would have gotten up, and Simone would have gotten up with Cecil. Quite frankly, I don't think that had anything to do with it, though. I believe. I'm just going to go ahead and say, I think that this is just a storyline for Contessa.
Okay. You may.
I think this is a storyline because when their marriage first started out on the show, they had a really good marriage. They were doing good, and it was very clear that they were doing good, and there was no issue in their marriage. And then suddenly, one season, Bravo was thinking of removing her. Her role on the show was up in the air. And next thing you know, she goes off to that school in Tennessee for almost 2 years.
Okay,
So,
good point.
So I think that, and even if it's not a storyline, whatever is happening in her marriage, like I was sharing with you the other night, whatever's happening in her marriage, she left that marriage for 2 years. And he really was not completely 100% in on her doing that.
Exactly.
So in my humble opinion, my humble perception is whatever's going on in their marriage, she's just going to have to suffer those consequences. I think that she is the one who is probably 80 to 85% responsible, because before she took that trip to Tennessee, they were doing fine.
Okay.
And what she did was she opened up a way for him. When you're away from your husband for 2 years, please don't think that he's not going to get his satisfaction someplace. And he has a wife, that 2 years is a long time. And coming home, she was coming home not even every weekend.
Right.
And the children were there. That's a lot of hours in the day over 2 years to be gone. A lot can happen in those hours in the day over the course of 2 years, and you're gone. Even if you are coming home on the weekend, that's a lot of hours. A lot of things happen in the day. When you think of the things that you do throughout the day and the decisions you make, all things can happen. Right. So she left that door open, and that's where I am with that.
I think you may have a point about the present, about the, her going away to school, and he really didn't want her to go. But I believe that they were having trouble in their marriage, and that the show stopped a lot of the maybe underlying things that may have been going on that they would have necessarily not.
You're saying that, and there's no facts of that. The facts are they came on the show and their family was doing fine. They had a
most couples do when they come on Housewives. As most couples do. They come in.
No, but there's no proof that they were having problems beforehand.
He said they've been through worse. He said they've been through worse. What was the worst?
The worst is the 2 years that she was gone away. That's what Scott's referring to. When he says that they've been through worse, that he's referring to the time that she was away from home. And she's referring to what's going on now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all we have proof of is now. You're exactly right. I'm only assuming.
Yeah, because there was nothing. He was, even the way he treated her on the show when they first came on, it was just I loved it. And they had a live-in person. I don't know if she was a nanny, but I remember one time she got really nasty with Contessa, their first season on the show. And Scott corrected her. He was like, "You're not going to talk to my wife like that."
I think they call them a Suze. Whatever they call them.
She was a nanny.
She was a nanny. So I think that they had underlying issues. Of course, they didn't have to make those public. They may have been small things,
but they did not. They did not.
No marriage is perfect. I'm not saying that they had.
But I don't want to guess at something that the show didn't show, though. The show didn't show that.
I mean, maybe it wasn't enough for them to.
But you can't just assume that something happened that you don't know about, because now you're putting things out there that may not even be true on the show.
If we've both been married, I know you are either married. You're married. I've been married.
Yes.
We have. Everybody has relationship issues.
But I'm not talking about my marriage and relationship issues. I'm talking about their marriage on the show. When they came on the show, their marriage was fine. They were not having any issues. Then she went away for 2 years, and he didn't want her to go away. There was a lot of back and forth between them about whether or not she was even going to that medical school.
She actually quit for him. She actually quit going to school, and
after she had been there about 18 months.
A year. She had been there a year.
About 18 months, and so by that time he was like, "You ain't got but about 2 more months. Go ahead and finish that out." By that time, the issues had started. She was away. He never fully gave in to her being gone that long.
Exactly.
He never really bought into that, and she went anyway. So that tells you she's a woman who does what she wants to do no matter what. She's on her own time. And so now when I see her crying, it's hard for me to empathize with her.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to empathize with her.
I feel like because she wanted to go back to school, I don't know why she chose to go to Tennessee when, as we discussed, she could have chosen like something online, or, I don't know what the reason why she wanted to go away. But that's what makes me think, those things like that is what make me think that, why would you want to go away from your family for 2 years? What was going on? Were you tired yourself? She says she doesn't feel heard. She doesn't feel loved. He tells her that she doesn't do anything.
Well, her kitchen is a mess. Her kitchen is a mess. I mean, like when she came back from school that one weekend, there were dishes everywhere, and she was mad that Scott had not washed the dishes. And Scott is thinking, "Look, I've been up here. He's probably been, doing so, because he does surgeries too."
Yeah.
So that's a lot of stress on a doctor. I know some physicians personally. That's a lot of stress on a doctor. After a doctor does surgery, they have downtime automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think she's selfish. I'm not a fan of Contessa, and I would not be too unhappy or displeased if they did not bring her back.
Oh, well, okay. I like her. I like them as a couple. I like her. I like her strength. I like her. She's very outspoken, and I like that she tries to be real about things, and I believe that her hurt is genuine.
Her
I
hurt is
I
much.
believe Scott is
Her
a
hurt
tough.
is too much. She yells.
But it could be a reason why to me, there's always a reason why people do things that they do. Like it's always a reason why people react, or like you said about Jackie, when you said she's somber, sometimes she
No, I didn't say
withdraws.
Jackie was somber. And I didn't say Jackie yells. What I said was Jackie
No, I'm
was
saying when you said she
disconnected.
withdraws, when you said that she withdraws, sometimes she's not present, or she may seem absent. It's
No,
a reason why.
I don't think she seems absent. Jackie's not absent. There's a difference in absence and disconnected. I think she seems disconnected because, but she doesn't take that out on other people. I believe that Jackie is also very present in who she is.
I
She's
don't
very
think
present.
Contessa takes her what's going on with her out on other
She yells a
people.
lot. She yells a lot. She
Well, she was in
screams.
the military. Maybe
She
that's why.
calls people the B word. She's like, that BIT. And I'm going, you have little children who are going to watch this show one day.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not, I can't do that. Like, I don't know. Shit, that like hardcore woman thing. And even the way she walks, she's just like, I'm like,
well, to me, military. That's why I don't really, shout out to the women that are in the military. And I was going to go once myself if I could have lost the 15 pounds, but I didn't. But anyway, I believe that. But I believe that that military thing puts that a certain amount of masculinity on a woman, regardless. And I
yeah.
believe that's where she gets that strength from. That's why I believe she pulls from that. It takes a lot of courage to go do those 6 weeks of boot camp. I don't know how long she stayed in there,
Yeah,
but
physically, yeah, it does. I
yeah,
agree.
so I believe that's where that masculinity comes from. And a lot of times we as women, some women, lose a lot of femininity because of, certain things we go through, whether it's she went to the military, that may be hers, or something that you go through childhood or whatever. But a
Yeah.
lot of times, you have to soften, and maybe she needs to soften herself. This is the softest I've ever seen Contessa of
And
all the
I
seasons.
did not even think that was soft at all. I
Well,
want to
I did. I thought that was
move
soft for her.
I want to move forward. I guess because of the tears, because
Yeah.
her and Scott, they do leave, and after they leave and go back to their room, Heavenly and Quad go up there. They are like getting ready for bed, you know, and here these two
I don't
friends
know what you saw.
knocking
I
on
didn't
the
saw
door.
getting ready for bed.
These two friends come knocking on the door,
Right.
and at that time of night, I don't know if the producers told them to
You
do
know
that.
they did. You know they did.
Because I'm like, I would never do that. I just would never, unless I thought he was going to harm her, which I knew he wasn't. I think that the ladies were really too hard on Scott. I think the ladies were too hard on him.
Possibly, yeah. I didn't see
Yeah.
ready for bed romance though. She was crying at the table all the way in the back, and
Which I did not feel bad for her tears.
he said she was studying, but she was not. You could tell that they may have had a heated conversation or whatever once they got to the room about the things that she discussed with them, because he voiced his opinion that he was upset that she had discussed their marriage with
Mm-hmm.
the ladies, and he said neither one of those was marriage counselors, and they weren't going to counsel him. That's what he said when he got up from the table, and I think
Yeah, well, Scott does not want his marriage put on blast like that. And I also believe that some of this is just playtime for Contessa. And I think that's some of Scott's frustration as well, is he
Mhm.
knows that she is creating some of this for a storyline. Because those women are not that close to Contessa. I mean, her and Heavenly have grown close.
Right.
But they had a huge rift in the beginning. But at the same time, she's sitting there just like the ladies would be talking about something else, and she would bring up her marriage. So I didn't get that. They would be talking about something else, and she'd be like, "Well, if he cheats on you, blah blah." And I'm going, Okay, Contessa, what are you trying to say here? You know, that your husband is cheating. She was doing everything she could this season to get that out, which is what makes me think it's a storyline.
I don't think it's a storyline. I think it's actually happening, and I feel like her communication may not be well. She didn't know how to reach out to say to the ladies, "Look, I'm having trouble in my marriage. Is something going on?"
So you think she was trying to get some help
I do.
with
I've
them?
never seen Contessa this soft. This was the softest season I've ever seen Contessa. When Heavenly and Quad went in there and she was sitting to that computer doing whatever she was doing, and those tears were in her eyes, she was like a little child to me. She was hurting, and I
Do you
felt
think she's really hurting?
yes. Now, I've also saw that when they did the end, when they said where they are now, they said they was on vacation being happy. Of course, you're going to take your kids on vacation and be happy in front of your children. Of course, you're going to try to smile and grin and bend, grin through everything. You're going to try to make your marriage work, but it doesn't mean that they're not having issues. He is seeing someone.
Well, one moment. Isabel, I just saw your question. Yes, she left her husband to go to school. This was like a couple of seasons ago, and she was gone for like 2 years, or 18 months or something like that. And she was coming home, like it was supposed to be every weekend, but it ended up not even being every weekend. And so, yeah, that's what happened. So I want to move forward and say the next thing that happened after the dinner was they're getting ready to leave. Well, no, actually, Carrie overheard. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Remember, Carrie overheard them
Yeah.
even after Quad and Heavenly went in that night, and then the following morning, Carrie overheard them arguing.
Right, about the nude photos.
Yeah, like women are sending him nude photos.
And he's accepting them and watching them and not deleting, you know. Yeah.
But can I tell you, when a woman sees Scott, you see him, right? And you learn he's a doctor, that immediately becomes appealing.
And they know who he is, though, just like they said a couple of seasons ago.
He's good looking. He's a good looking man.
Why would he not know that these women are after him? He's on a TV show. Like, oh my God.
And he's a doctor. He's
right.
a good looking man. My point is, he's a good looking man. That's part of the equation. Plus, he's a doctor. That equals,
he's on TV.
That means he's very intelligent.
Right.
And because you cannot get out of most med schools without an A. You have to have A's in everything. Even a nurse. Nurses have to have A's. Those women, nurses, men and women actually work hard for those grades. So I just think, and he looks like he smells good.
Well, anyway, getting back to the comment I was going to make, they said word on the street is that he is very romantic, and that is one of the reasons why Contessa.
I believe it.
Was hard to let him go because they said that he's very good in bed. I don't know why I'm whispering, but they say he's very good in bed and he's very romantic. That's what I've heard.
Contessa is not romantic. Did you see when he was hugging her? She was like,
She's not happy, Bree.
No, she's not romantic.
Not happy. She's not romantic.
She's not romantic. If he had been hugging me like that, I would have been all up over him. Let's go to bed, honey. I'm crying.
She's disappointed. Her feelings is hurt. She doesn't trust him.
Well, if her feelings are hurt, that's all the more reason for her to lean into him. I'm not Contessa. I don't want to put anything out there, but there are other people on other blogs who say she doesn't even like men.
I even kind of thought that myself. But regardless of that, I believe that
she's not soft. What woman?
When a man disappoints you, is it hard for you to be romantic with them if they hurt your feelings?
If I'm in tears and I'm crying and my husband comes over to hug me, it's going down. So I'm not. She was like, And she was so stiff when he was hugging her.
You do not like Contessa. That's bottom line. You are killing Contessa, and I can't. You don't like Contessa. I see
No,
that
it's
right.
not
I
even
think
that
you
you
know
don't like
Contessa more than
her.
you. I think you like just like Contessa more than you like Quad.
Contessa is hard. Now I think Quad is beautiful. Let me just say that. I love the way she dresses. She's beautiful, has a beautiful body. I don't like the way she did her husband, Greg. I don't like women who use men because men have feelings too. So I don't like women who use men for money with the anticipation of leaving them at some point in the marriage. I believe that Quad went into the marriage with Greg with the anticipation of leaving him. And she looked for the opportunity. The man wanted to have your baby. He's your husband. And she wanted to get her career off the ground. She still don't have that career. In fact,
And
she
plus,
lost one of them.
he says she stopped sleeping with him for what, a year or so, or more.
Yeah, yeah. And he was still in the house hoping that it would work out.
But I think she said it was
Quad
because
is a
he was
mean
cheating.
person. Quad is mean. I don't like mean women who use men like that. No, she should have found someone else to use. But she knew that Quad looks beautiful now, right? She's always had style and
She's
fashion.
always beautiful. Yeah, she's always been beautiful.
She has not always been beautiful to me. She's always had style and fashion. When she first came on that show, she was not all of that. And she knew that she was not going to be able to get her an NFLer or an NBAer, or even a high profile grade A actor. She knew she wasn't going to be able to do that. So she went for Dr. Greg, and with the anticipation of using him because she couldn't get any of those others. So, and I don't like women who do that. I just don't. I don't like when men have feelings. Men have, especially if he's a doctor. People become doctors because they really want to help people. They want people to get
He was a
better.
psychiatrist, right? Or psychologist? Was he a psychiatrist or a psychologist, Greg?
Greg
He
was a
wasn't a medical
psychiatrist.
doctor.
He's a psychiatrist because doctor is behind his name.
Right.
If you,
But you have to remember that Greg had several affairs, Bree. Several.
Guess what?
He had several affairs.
No, he didn't. He only had an affair when she stopped sleeping with him in the bed. And any man would do that. So I'm not going to knock him for that. I'm just not. You were not.
You don't like quality. You don't like Contessa. Let's move on.
You were not. She was not sleeping with her husband. And so he went and got it elsewhere. I say go get it elsewhere if she's not sleeping with you. The same with Contessa. You chose to be away for 2 years. While you were away, your husband discovered some other things, and that's where this marriage is.
I think nothing warrants infidelity. To me, nothing warrants infidelity.
I'm not saying it warrants it, but you shouldn't put a person in position to do it either.
Okay, let's move on to Heavenly because we're not going to agree on Quad.
Okay, so yeah. Well, what are you trying to get done about Heavenly? What were you wanting to say about Heavenly?
We just haven't discussed her for the finale, for the end of the finale.
Because she hasn't. What is she? Oh well, wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to get, before we get to Heavenly, I want to get to the part about when they were getting ready to leave. And
okay.
$600.
Right.
Whenever Lisa, the reason I want to get to that is because the cameras showed a little snippet of Toya pushing Anila.
Really?
Yeah, Toya pushed Anila, and then the camera went to a different area. So yeah, she got in Anila's face, and Anila got out of her way. Yeah, Toya is a bully.
She is a bully. Now that's who I don't care for, is Toya.
Yeah, I don't care for her either. Now,
I don't like the way she treats her. She didn't treat him bad this season, as she normally does, and that everybody pointed out. But I think she's even meaner than she was in prior seasons because she had a miscarriage, and I think she really wanted another child. And I don't know what type of financial situations because their house is up for sale. I think they've already sold it.
Yeah, they sold it.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on with her. I think she's unhappy. But the only reason why I think that Toya is unhappy is not because of her marriage or anything, because her husband treats her fine. He makes sure she has everything she wants. He loves her. I think Toya is unhappy with herself. I think she wants to be more than just a housewife. and I don't think she's found her talent yet. Like the other ladies, they have other stuff going on. They have careers, and I think Toya needs something to do. That's the only thing I think is
Well,
wrong
of
with
course she
Toya.
does. Anytime we go to college, like I went to college because I wanted to build something, right?
Right.
So college, she's a well-educated woman.
Yes.
So yeah, she wants to do something with her life, and she probably is at a point where she does need to discover
She
a different
does.
talent.
Right.
She needs to discover something that she can do um, in her spare time that is conducive to building her up. And I agree with you on that, actually.
Mhm.
I really do agree with you. At the same time, she pushed Anila last night.
I did not
And
know that.
yeah,
She brought
and
her on the show, but you know what? I see a running thing with that. When they bring the friends of the show on or the new housewife on, do you notice that they turn against each other? They turn against the new housewife.
I haven't seen that on every show, not every show. But I will say that Lisa really got nasty with Anila last night. Saying she was going to call the police
Somebody
and
said,
all
"Don't
of
be a Karen." Somebody told her, "Don't be a Karen. Don't be a Karen." Probably.
and then
But did
Heavenly
you?
was like, here's the
Yeah,
$600.
that's why I was going to talk about Heavenly. Yeah,
And
she
she
brought.
didn't want to take Heavenly's money.
She did not. She didn't
Yeah,
want to.
yeah. Well, she should have because I don't think the legal should give it to her. What are you
You
thinking?
froze up a little bit, so repeat what you said. You froze a little bit.
Okay, I think Anila should not give Lisa the money.
I thought Anila shouldn't give her the money either. I thought they should have called it even. Somebody said you give 300 and then you pay 300. I know I'm not. No, I'm not. And I thought that would have been fair. But I don't blame Heavenly because they did partake. And I guess once Lisa see playback, they'll know that they were egging Anila on her and Quad. And I do appreciate Heavenly being woman enough to like, hey, let's squash it. Here's the money, girl. Here, take the $600.
Yeah, yeah. And someone else did that too. Someone else said, take the $600.
Yeah,
Heavenly and who? Oh, Quad.
Quad. Yeah.
Quad, yeah. So I'm gonna wrap this up here
Okay.
because toward the end we learned that Toya and Eugene have sold their house, and the
Yes, they
producers
have.
asked them why did they sell their house, and they didn't want them to ask that question.
Correct.
Why do you think that is?
I think it was for financial reasons. Listen, that's a windfall for them. Selling that house gives them what, a couple of $1 million. They could go somewhere and live in a just as probably nicer as nice of a house. Lower
But did they
mortgage.
downsize?
They downsized, I'm sure. I think it may have been an investment from them for the beginning. To build.
That was a beautiful home, though. I
It
like
was.
that was
I
beautiful.
mean, in the
So the
climate.
next thing, the next thing that we see is Heavenly is on the phone with Dr. Damon, and she kind of makes this face, like
Yes.
she's trying to get an answer from him.
And listen, when they asked her, "Is Dr. Damon coming?" and she said no. Did you see her reaction when I think it was Contessa that asked her, "Is your husband coming? Is Dr. Damon coming?" And she was like, "No, he's not coming." I've never seen that with Heavenly about her husband. You know what I mean?
I think Dr. Damon is fed up because Dr. Damon's personality. I think he's done these shows because Heavenly wanted the shows to be done, but I think that overall he doesn't like the drama that Heavenly is beginning to embarrass him.
Yeah, she's doing a vlog, and she does a review of their own show.
Yeah, she has YouTube. Yeah, she's
Yeah, and she is so ratchet. She's ratchet on it.
Yeah. So the other one that they show is Anila's house, her $3 million house.
Yes.
So out of the neighborhood, and then Anila is upgrading.
Yeah. And they
So
said that Quad said
is bad.
yeah, Quad said, is that why Toya them sold their house because you upstaged her? Yeah. I don't think so.
That house is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
That house is gorgeous. But you know what? I know people don't like to talk race, but honey, Indians, whenever they're doing their designs in their homes, it's amazing to me.
Yes, it's awesome. I've had a friend. She had something at her house, and her bosses were Indian, and we went there for a Christmas thing they had. And
Mhm.
the girl,
Yes,
beautiful. Yes, I
they
mean, oh
do
my
it
God.
up. They
Yes, there
do
was no meat, but everything was good, and the house was beautiful.
And they don't care about being flamboyant.
You know, they're vegetarians,
That's
most
in their
of them.
nature. That's in their nature, yeah. So her house is gorgeous, and I'm so happy for her. I really
Yeah,
am.
I
I'm
like
happy.
I like her for the show. I hope they bring her back next year, next
They
season.
have to, because now she's definitely with that house. She's definitely a housewife.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. She's
Yeah, with
awesome.
that house, she's definitely a housewife. Because I think the housewives need to live that way. Well, she's not a house. I mean, she's
She's a
the
blogger
video.
like us. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I keep thinking of Real Housewives, but they're Married to Medicine. But
yeah.
I think that those types of shows, the women, we do want to see you beautified. We want to see you, fashionista and all of these things.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do. I want to see the jewels. I want to see the clothes, the
Yeah, we
furniture.
want to live vicariously through them.
I'm not going to live vicariously through them. I'm going to do my own, but I like watching them.
Yeah.
Like Lisa Vanderpump. I really I want to see the outside of her house, the whole thing, because I know she's like worth 40, 50 mil.
Hmm.
Inside of her house, I used to always look at it and try to find something that I liked, and I just couldn't.
Well, she redid her kitchen. Her kitchen was beautiful. Did you see her redone kitchen on the last season before she left? She
No,
redid her kitchen.
I have to see that. I just know whenever they would show her house, like I didn't like the furniture. I did like Kyle's house. I like Kyle's style.
I like Kyle's. To me, Kyle's house now looks like the old house, but just different furniture, different.
Yeah,
I
just it
like
there.
Dorit's house.
Oh,
Dorit,
that opening, how it opens up.
yes. Oh my
That,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, I like Dorit's. I like the design, the internal design, like with the pillars, like the
Hmm.
pillars that she has coming down. Yeah.
Erica Jane's house was a little too dark for me, but I guess
It was dark, wasn't it? I didn't
it
like that.
was dark. All that dark wood, but that's from back in the day, and her husband is older, so I guess that was the style that whatever the
Back then.
back
Yeah.
then, and she probably didn't change a lot, but
I would
her
have
house was
changed
a little
it.
too
We would
dark.
have had to move. We would have had to move.
Yes. Well, now I'm sure I don't know how long. God forbid, I don't know if they'll be able to keep the house or not, but they're under a lot of investigation
Yeah.
for
So
embezzlement.
so this was the finale. It
Yep.
ended. So we know that Toya and Eugene sold their house. We know
Yes.
the reunion, the first is a 3-part reunion, and the first
Yes.
airs next Sunday. So we'll be back here next Sunday to discuss that.
Yes.
Meantime, over on your channel, maybe we can talk about Erica Girardi.
Yes. Let's do that.
Maybe we can do something this week over on your channel. We can do some research and bring our heads together. The other thing that I want to talk about this week, I may do it tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm kind of disappointed. I love my 2 people who showed up for me.
Yes, we thank
I'm
you,
mad at
Anila.
Jarell and everyone because
Yes, and
Young
is
Bird does a 7:10 show. Her shows are in the daytime, and I'm going, of all days, to do a 7:10 show. I'm really like, and I know that because I listen to her show.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to her shows every Monday, and I'm usually listening to them on my lunch break.
Wow. Yeah,
So
she
you
is a
were right last
daytime
night.
person.
I'm going to do a different hour next time.
Okay.
I'm going to do a different hour. So, but I have this thing that I'm going to do because I do my In the News segment.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to do an In the News on critical race theory.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about Ted Cruz because Ted Cruz has said critical race theory is racism, and it's not.
Okay.
So I want to put that, so that's going to be my title too. I'm going to call it Critical Race Theory because I want people to gravitate to it, people who are interested in that topic. So I'm going to call it Critical Race Theory and Ted Cruz because I'm going to bring some clippets and I want to upload them here. So I want you to join me on that. Just let me know.
Awesome. Yes, I'm going to do my research.
Yes, do your research and we can talk about that.
Okay.
But then I want us to go over on your channel and talk about Erica Girardi.
Yes, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I think they come on what, Wednesday nights? Are they Wednesday?
Yeah, they
They're
come on
Wednesday night show, I think.
So maybe we can do something. You just let me know.
Okay, yeah, we'll get together and get something done.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in, Juanita and Isabel.
Yes, yes. Thank you guys. Did you guys stay the whole time? Are you still here?
She said we rock, Juanita.
You said we rock. Yes, you guys really rock. So thank you so much. I'm gonna try to get some music. You have to show me, Rose, how to upload the music.
I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys do me a favor and like my channel. Give me 2 likes. I'm going to still do this. Hopefully my audience will grow. It's amazing how last night I had 3,000 people and tonight
yes, you did.
How is that? I mean, I don't want to keep doing all about the tea because I have things that I want to talk about and I'm kind of
other than that, the
I'm really creeped out by her.
You're probably going to get a lot of replays on this one as well. So
okay, well, I'm creeped out by her after that email she sent me.
I'm not going to. Oh, that's right. You did see me.
Yeah, I'm very creeped out by the email she sent, and she needs to get a life. She's a mean person, so I don't have time for that. I have other things I want to put out here, but it's amazing how when I talk about her, everyone comes over.
Yeah, and a lot of people said they're tired of hearing about it. So that's like I did, something totally different. I didn't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah, everybody needs to stop talking about her and move. She found but my personality made her stay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, well, stay with me because I'm going to be coming on here. I'm gonna try to do like almost every night. I had to like go sell 2 homes today. So.
Congratulations.
They're still in the making. I had to show them. I shouldn't say I meant.
Okay.
But so anyway, thank you guys for coming, and I'm gonna try to go on YouTube and figure out how to do the music thing. I really like this StreamYard.
I love StreamYard.
Yeah, but people also do Zoom.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, they do Zoom as well. So thank you, Rose, for showing up.
Anytime. I love your channel. I love your content. You drew me as well. I came over to watch you. You drew me as well. Your personality, your content. To me, you're so thorough and precise, and you have a very pleasant personality. And I was like, I want to collab with her.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm really enjoying doing this. I'm so glad that I connected with you, and because I saw you, you came up in my feed, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna connect with her because she seems like someone I would want to be connected with.
Right. Isabel was saying something in her.
Well, she says, I'm studying organizational psych, and a lot of what you talk about is great content for me to learn from.
Oh, wow.
Well, hello.
2 snaps up.
5 snaps, okay? So, I am so I'm so thrilled. So I'll let you know. I may not come on tomorrow night. I may do Wednesday with my critical race theory.
Okay, and if you want me to come on tomorrow, I'm free.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna do that. But I'm gonna use tomorrow to get some more information. I want to be able to upload some things about Ted Cruz on here. Okay. So you guys tell everyone to come to do a search for Vlog Media Breeze, and they will be able to see my content and see when I'm going to be doing something. I'm just surprised that I didn't have more people.
You'll get a lot of replays, trust me.
Okay, really? I hope so. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for showing up, and bye. I wish I had some music for us, but we've been on here 1 hour and 25 minutes and about 10 seconds. So It was a good conversation. It was a good
Yes, it was.
commentary.
It
It was a
was.
good review. And I love what you brought, Rose. Because we
Thank
have some
you.
differences. So it means that people are going to think like you, and very few people are going to think like me.
Like, no, more people may think like you.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and drop you, okay?
Okay, good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.